Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about main idea in writing. Before we get started, you can pause this video if you need to go grab something, but please make sure you either have a writing utensil and some paper or open up a blank doc on your Chromebook so you can be following along with some of the examples and give them a try. So moving on, what is main idea? Well, it goes by a couple different names. Main idea might be the claim, central idea, or an argument. But basically, all of those things are saying it's what you're trying to prove when you are writing. It is your main idea. You're answering the question, and you are trying to do it in one sentence only. Good trick is to rearrange the question you are being asked. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But a couple broad notes should be: one, you're not starting with yes or no. People will be able to understand what position you're taking based off of how you answer the question, so those are not needed. And then when we're writing about things that we read, literary analysis, we want to also avoid using first person. So no, I think, I believe, in my opinion. We leave those out to show that we're very confident in our opinions. And if we state them as fact, our readers are going to believe them as well. Moving on. So we have a little bit of a formula when we're talking about main idea. And the four pieces to the pie are topic, verb, position, and reason. So let's figure out what those things are. Topic. Basically, this is the subject you're talking about. It is it's what question you're being asked. You're rewording the question here. A verb, the verb. This is basically going to be an action, all right? And we'll talk about that in a bit as well. Position, once again, your position. Captain Obvious. Position is going to be your answer to the question. And then finally, your reason. Why is that the position? Explain to me why this is your answer. Tell me because this. So an example of a main idea would be my weekend was rewarding because I coached the Special Olympics softball team. So you're rewording part of the question. How was your weekend? My weekend. So the person knows what you're talking about. Was a passive verb. Rewarding, this is your answer. Your weekend was this. How was your weekend? Because, and you're explaining why. Because of this reason here. So our topic, getting a little more in depth to hopefully make this a little more clear. When we're writing a main idea, you're usually answering a question. The topic is the answer to that question. So an example would be, what kind of bear is best? Main idea topic would be, the best bear is. So you're taking some of the words from the question, you're rearranging them, and that is your topic. A lot of times people leave out a topic when they're speaking because you're just going back and forth. But when you're writing, you want to be very, very clear on what you're talking about and what you're answering. So the more clear and specific you can be in your topic, the better. The best way is to rearrange the words from a question that you are asked. Next thing is going to be a couple of examples. So for this, you're just going to follow along. Question, who's the best author of all time? We're just rearranging some of the words from the question. Well, the best author of all time is blank. Another question, what feeling helps turn Anakin into Darth Vader? Star Wars fans. Rearranging some of those words. The feeling that turns Anakin into Darth Vader is blank. So you're rearranging what is being said to you in the question, and then you are explaining so your reader knows exactly what you're talking about. So for this, I want you to pause the video in just a second so you have as much time as you need to write your own. But I have 3 questions here, and what you need to do is pause it, and you need to write a topic. So you're rearranging the words from the question that is being asked in order to explain to me what the topic is. So like I said, click on the video, pause it so you have as much time as you need, but I want you to answer these 3 questions, topic only. So pause it, and then whenever you're done, go ahead and play the video again. So hopefully you are done now with writing your topics. Just to check some of our work. Question, who is the best singer of all time? One way that you could have arranged the topic of your main idea is, the best singer of all time is blank. Another one, what is the saddest story ever written? The saddest story ever written is blank. And then the last one, where is the greatest vacation destination? The greatest vacation destination is blank. So notice you're rearranging some of the words from the question in order to create your topic. Moving on to the verb. Verbs are action words, so it is something that someone does. Verbs can be passive or active, so verbs fall into one of two categories. Active verbs are easier to visually see, so if you're looking at someone, you can actually see what they're doing. For example, run, talk, cry, swim, think. There's hundreds, okay? But these are usually pretty easy to see. It's noticeable. Passive verbs are a little tougher to see. So for example, is or be. The action of being is still an action. Everyone's doing it. You're just there, but it's still an action that you are doing. So a little bit confusing, but basically passive verbs are something that you don't actively do. They're the exact opposite. It's just something that's happening, okay? Many times in literary analysis, your verb is going to be is. Just so you know, a little heads up, a little cheat code for our main ideas. Moving on to position. Position is the answer to the question. So we have our topic, you're rearranging the question, your verb to connect your topic and position, and then your position, the answer. So if you follow this color-coded example down here, what's the greatest story of all time? Our topic in red, we're rewording the question, the greatest or best story of all time. Our verb is a passive verb, connecting it to our position, our answer, Star Wars, all right? You might not agree, but it is a sound main idea sentence with a position. I answered the question, I gave some specifics as to what the question was, and I connected the two with a verb. Position, try it yourself. So once again, I want you to pause the video in just a second, and I want you to write down or type down your two answers to these questions. It should hopefully have a topic, you're rewording the question, a verb, notice we have some verbs in the questions that we could potentially steal, and then you're giving me a position. So answer the question, all right? So we're putting those three pieces together. Go ahead and click on the video to pause it and write down your answers, and then whenever you're done, go ahead and restart the video and press play. All right, so hopefully you got that part finished. I want you to kind of check your work a little bit. Obviously, positions, there are an infinite number of positions, an infinite number of answers to these types of questions. It's going to be hard to have a main idea for a yes or no question. So main idea questions are usually going to be opinion-based. You have whatever opinion it is, as long as you can back it up with a reason, which we'll talk about next, you'll be right. So hopefully we have that topic, verb, position. Question, who is your best friend? My best friend is, and then pick a name, whoever it would be, right? Another question, what is the best flavor of ice cream? The best flavor of ice cream is, and then you pick whatever it is. Obviously, there's really no wrong answer. All ice cream is good, but you are explaining in specifics what you're talking about, connecting with a verb, and then you're picking a position or an answer. Finally, our reason, our last piece to the puzzle. Reason is the why, all right? This is where you explain why your position is right. You're convincing your readers that you are correct. Reasons often begin with the word because. Because is a great connector word between your answer and why your answer is right. Because remember, we all want this in one sentence. We want these four components, our topic, verb, position, reason, all together. And so after because, or another word that you may choose, you're going to explain why you picked the answer that you did. And it needs to be a little more specific than this. So an example, who is your best friend? One that we looked at earlier. We follow the color-coded answer here. Our topic to our question, who is your best friend? The topic, rewording the question, my best friend. Our verb, passive, is. Position, Carl. Carl's the best friend. He's the answer. And then the reason, because, so we're explaining why Carl is the best friend. It's because he's really kind. Who doesn't like to have a nice best friend, right? So, practicing main idea. How was your weekend? We want a topic, a verb, a position, and a reason. So if we follow the example down here, our topic, my weekend, rewording the question, was past tense of is, so a similar verb. Position, how was your weekend? My answer, it was exciting. Well, why? Because I celebrated my birthday with family and friends. So you put all that together, and that is a main idea. You're answering the question, you're telling me about the question, and then you're telling me why your answer is right, or why you think your answer is right. So now I want you to pause this video once again, just click on the screen, and try it on your own. If you're struggling a little bit, follow this template. And then you're telling me what your answer is and tell me why. So just be honest, type it in your notes, pause it. Whenever you're done, go ahead and unclick to continue the video. All right, back to this. So as long as you had my weekend, you're rewording the question. Our verb was, because it's in the past, taking that word up from up here again, and then you're picking a position. You're telling me how your weekend was, and then why. Almost there. One more try. So, another question to answer. What do you think of high school so far? Obviously, we are going to be stealing words once again from the question. An example right here might be high school, and then a verb is, that passive is. Your position, tell me what it is. I hope it's a positive answer, but you can be honest if you're thinking something different. And then because, whatever your answer is, I need to know why, okay? So explain that reason. Explain why you're thinking that answer is right. Give me some support. Convince me. So click the screen, pause the video, try this one out on your own in your notes. Whenever you're done, go ahead and click the screen again to continue the video. All right. So, like I said, high school is, and then you're telling me what it is, how it is, and then because and why. All in one sentence. Notice, this is all together. We don't have a period until at the very end. So, to wrap up, this is going to be a really, really important tool for you as you continue writing in school, especially with literary analysis, when you're writing about books, characters, anything under the sun. This answers whatever question you are asked, and most importantly, it explains why. If you can't explain why your answer is right, it probably isn't. So that is the most important thing to be focusing on. Why is my answer right? I need to explain it. If you're right, tell everyone, right? You want people to believe you, so just go ahead and explain why. As always, email your teacher with questions. We're always happy to help you. Once you get this and it starts clicking, things are going to go really well with your writing. It's going to be a lot easier, and it's going to give you a lot of things to say and build off of. So keep up the good work, and we will talk to you soon.